Former President Trump will return to Washington, D.C. this morning for the first time since leaving on Air Force One 1.5 years ago. He'll deliver a speech for the America First Policy Institute, a visit that comes just as the first round of hearings into the January 6th attack on the Capitol comes to an end. NBC News correspondent Vaughn Hillyard joins us now from Washington with the latest. Vaughn, good morning to you. So first of all, walk us through the significance of this visit by the former president, which comes just days after we saw that final summer hearing into the attack on the Capitol.
Yeah, Joe, it was 522 days ago that we saw the images there of Donald Trump leaving via Marine One from the South Lawn of the White House just hours before Joe Biden was inaugurated. And since then, multiple investigations have been launched into his actions and sometimes lack of action on the day of the January 6th insurrection, and ultimately the allies around him and other groups in the planning that took place ahead of that event and the perpetuation of the idea that the 2020 election was stolen. That's what brings him here today to Washington, D.C. And to give you a context where we are, we're just a mile and a half down the road from the U.S. Capitol, less than a mile from the White House. And interestingly, the former Vice President Mike Pence is delivering a speech just a couple blocks from where we are right now, about 2 hours from now, here in Washington, D.C. as well here. So there is a lot at play when it comes to, this is an event here, America First Policies Institute. It was a group that was formed after the administration left the White House in 2021 here. There are dozens of former senior White House officials as well as cabinet members here, and one official telling me that this group was formed to essentially help Republicans when they were to take back power, whether it be in Congress or in the White House, enact policies that were very much Trump aligned if and when that were time to come again.
So you've got Trump world versus Pence world playing out. You also got Biden world, Vaughn. We saw President Biden weigh in on Trump's actions on January 6th during a speech yesterday for law enforcement executives. Let's take a listen.
Every day we rely on law enforcement to save lives. Then on January 6th, we relied on law enforcement to save our democracy. The police were heroes that day. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act. The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American.
Vaughn, we often don't see presidents criticize their predecessors. This appears to be a very different situation. Do you think this criticism directed by President Biden toward Trump is a preview of what we might see heading into a possible presidential election rematch in 2 years?
Exactly. You cannot ignore the politics of this here. While investigations continue, the current president is well aware that the Republican Party is looking to regain its power, obviously here in 2022, but also in 2024. Donald Trump is effectively campaigning here around this country, but you've also seen Mike Pence on the road here, and that is where you see President Biden there commenting, because the reality is that next year very much becomes presidential election cycle, and Donald Trump is trying to make the case of that this is the federal government under the Biden administration that is targeting him and Republican allies to try to keep them out of power. Of course, there are a lot of layers to that contention here, but at the same time, that is the case that the former president is making to the American public around the country, and his return to Washington here for the first time since Inauguration Day is notable because he is taking out his message directly here to the nation's capital again, Joe.
All right, Vaughn Hillyard reporting in Washington. Thank you, Vaughn.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.